was with another pastor. I had gone to buy, there's a brother who wanted to buy a vehicle. And we got a mechanic who was a Pentecostal to go and check the cars and so forth. And we took time. I preached to the man, and the man really got touched. And then he says, "Where is your church here in Kampala? I would want to go and attend." So I pointed to the other pastor. I said, and then he went to the other pastor. He says, "How do I reach your church? Where is it located? How is it called?" And you know the greatest embarrassment that I got? This is the man who, a pastor who answers this one and says, "Well, have you heard of a bunch of people who are called Branhamites?" "Well, we are Branhamites." And then the Pentecostal pastor came to me and said, "So, excuse me, sir, so you are Branhamites? You are not Christians?" I said, "Well, maybe for him he's still at the door of Branham." Me, I received Christ because Branham pointed me to Christ. So I'm actually a genuine Christian. And you know, that's the reason many ministries have not even been successful in evangelism. Because they might find a person is, "Do you know God sent a prophet?" I mean, what does this person have to do with God sending a prophet? He's a baby. He doesn't even know the Bible. He doesn't know nothing in the Bible. And you are just throwing a bone to a baby, and you expect this baby to chew the bone. And then I asked him, "Brother," I said, "Why did you say?" "Brother, I'm not ashamed of the prophet." I said, "A prophet? Now, can you tell this man the prophecies of the prophet that can save him?" Tell him the prophecies of the prophet that can save him now. It's beyond the prophet. It's the message. He was a prophet messenger. So you take the message that a prophet brought and live that life that present that message. But very many people are comfortable with that. You have no problem. I mean, you can have as many, photos of the prophet on your wall, in your house, can even put it in your office, but that does not bring Christ in your life. You can be so bold to be identified with the person of Brother Branham, but you are ashamed to be identified by the life of the man that the prophet identified, the prophet introduced. That's the reality. And that's what's going to take us home. Glory be to God. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Christ in the temple, walking in the temple. And then when the denominations begin to ask him, "What authority? Who gave you this authority?" "Because I received the reality that the prophet introduced." So the reality now walketh in the temple. Is here. I am the answer to the question. I have the answer to the question of the origin of authority. The origin of authority is because I received the reality, the message of the messenger. I'm not stuck at the door of the office. I'm not just holding him. My prophet is my prophet. Okay, what did he prophesy?